I am dead. Hello, my name is Xiao and I live in a bad apartment by myself and have a job at an IT department. My life was pretty boring until one day when I was leaving work. As I was heading home I heard a loud honk. I turned and looked like a deer staring at the headlights of a truck, but when it hit me I felt nothing, like I was floating. Next thing I knew I was in a bright white room with nothing in it, so I decided to walk around. 2 hours later. God, hello, sorry I'm late. What the hell, where were you and who are you? God, sorry, I just got lost on the path of life, then when I tried to get here, there was a black cat followed by 6 other black cats, so you must understand the issue. What the hell does that even mean? God, matters not, I am here to tell you you will be reincarnated. Wait, really? Okay, how does that work? God, you will spin this wheel and whatever it lands on will be who you are and where you will go, then you will get 3 wishes, understand? Yeah, I understand. The wheel lands on MHA. The wheel lands on Deidara. God, okay, nice, now tell me your 3 wishes. Okay. 1. I would like to keep all of my memories. 2. I would like an ability where anything I touch can turn into explosive clay. 3. And my quirk can't be stolen. God, okay, however about the second one I will allow you to do it to any unliving thing, but it won't work if they are alive. Also the bigger something is, the longer it will take, also you might get a little of Deidara's attitude. A/N, by bigger I mean the more matter it is. Okay, that's fine, it's your rules. God, well, bye. When he woke up. Holy shit, it worked. 3. Time skip kun. Today I turn 4, so it is time for me to get my quirk. I do notice how I am more like Deidara sometimes, like whenever I talk to somebody I really want to say my man very badly, but it hasn't gotten too bad yet. Mom, it's time to go get your stuff. Okay, coming. I awakened my quirk earlier today, so we have to go and get it registered. Doc, so your quirk is that you have a mouth on your hand? No, my man, I have the ability to eat and explode clay. Doc, okay, so what do you want to call this quirk? What about art is an explosion, dot. Doc/mom, why would you want to name it that? Dad, because art is an explosion. My dad's name is Yoshikage Kira, he also thinks that art is an explosion. But he says he just wants peace. Doc, wow, what an amazing quirk, here, take some clay and become a great hero. A/N, don't ask. On the way home I thought about lots of things, like how to train my quirk. And as I should make the morgue the best piece of art ever, but I quickly got that out of my mind. 9 years later. My middle school life was pretty boring. Most of the time I made a clay clone to go to school for me, but now was finally the time to go to UA, but before I got there I realized something, there was no mention of All Might. The whole time I was here, isn't he the number 1 hero? Oh, shit, don't tell me. I'm not in the right time. Fuck, when is this? Well, maybe when I head to UA I can tell what time I am in. 4. Entrance and what time I am in. When I got to UA I was told to go and wait in the auditorium for them to announce the exam. After waiting for a while somebody finally showed up and explained the exam. The first part was a written exam, and let me tell you straight up, this was hard. It was college level, it was very hard. After that it was the combat part, it was basically like the original. Random nobody 3,2,1 start. Once he said that I ran full speed and started placing bombs and exploding random shit while saying art is an explosion. After a while, he decided that it was time to finish this and get all the points. He jumped up and C3 Dragon. Once he launched it, the whole city instantly got obliterated. Heroes watching. Hero 1, OMG, what power. Hero 2, I hope he doesn't become a villain. Hero 3, true. Back to Deidara. Yes, that was epic, how beautiful. All of the students stared at him and were afraid to death and ran away. You dare run away from art, you bastards. After the exam. After Deidara was at home for a while, he got a letter about him going to UA. Random, hello, Deidara, you have had the biggest score in all of UA history. However, because of the destruction a lot of your points went away. So you barely made it in, but congrats for making it. Did that piece of shit just call my amazingly beautiful art destruction? I swear if I see that motherfucker again I'm going to turn him into my greatest creation. At UA. I see people I know everywhere like All Might, Endeavor, Cementos, and Izawa, but there was a problem. they are all kids WTF. When I got to class 1A I went inside and the first thing I saw was a man in a green jumpsuit screaming and doing push-ups. Fuck no is what I wanted to say, but what came out was hey my man. How's it Hanjin? Oh hello, my name is Stone Unli, and I'm going to prove that even without a quirk I can become number 1. So this is what Deco should have been. My name is Deidara, I'm going to prove my art is above all else. Stone, let's work hard for our dreams to come true. I'm already sick of both of you. Common Aizawa, cheer up. Hello, my name is Toshinori Yagi. Aizawa, whatever. Move out of the way, weak asses. Endeavor. What's up my man, you look pretty cool but my art is far greater. Endeavor, I heard about you and your stupid art. The room grew quiet and cold. So you have chosen death C4 Karu. Before he could launch his attack a bandage wrapped him up and he was staring at bright red eyes. Nice eyes my man. 5. Meeting teacher and testing. Quirks. Quiet down everyone, I have something to announce. Before I get started, I am your teacher, you can call me Koro sensei. Koro, this year you will only have one teacher, me, and no this isn't. Because the author is too lazy. Wink. Okay, well anyway let's go outside and test some quirks. Before they got outside, Koro sensei told them to wear costumes because they will need it. My costume is the Akatsuki robe filled with an insane amount of clay. Koro, so today to test our quirks you will all go up against me so I can see your level. WTF, this isn't like the original test at all. His thinking was interrupted by a yellow tentacle. He quickly dodged and threw a bomb at him, but it didn't do anything to him. Koro, not too bad. He then teleports behind All Might and taunts him. All Might then uses Smash, which hits Koro sensei but barely hurt him. Well shit. As the other students were wasting their time, All Might, me, and Aizawa made a plan. All Might would team up with Endeavor while Aizawa would erase his quirk, then I would use C2 hidden bombs to trap him. The plan went well. One wrong move and you will explode sensei. Sensei, not bad, in fact very good but not good enough. He just simply walked on the bombs that did nothing to him. Damn, this sucks. Sensei, okay, I made a ranking of everyone based on everything I have seen. 1 Deidara. 2 Toshinori. 3 Endeavor. 4 Stone Unli. 5 Aizawa. 6 Cementos. 7 to 20 extras that don't matter. Sensei, the rest of the year your only job is to as a class beat me in order to pass. Also tomorrow we will patrol the city and look for villains, also. Deidara, try not to destroy everything. Him calling art destruction resulted in him running away from Deidara for a couple of hours. 6. Villain hideout. Once the students got back to UA the next day, Koro sensei had something to say. Sensei, today we will be patrolling the city. We got reports that there is a villain hideout in the city. Student 1, are we allowed to do this? We are only first years and we are still in our first week. Sensei, all teachers at UA can teach how they want, so there is no problem. Before leaving, Deidara decided to get some small gloves and infuse clay on the inside so he can explode someone on touch if needed. In the city. Toshinori, I hope we find the villains, they need to pay. Aizawa, pay for what it is, just a hideout where villains who have done nothing go. I don't even know why we call them villains. Civilians, OMG, it's number 1 hero Sakazuki or the Admiral. Wow, there are a lot of crossovers before canon. Sakazuki villains are the scum of the world. I will not rest until they are all defeated. Sakazuki has a strong quirk, some say the strongest ever. His quirk allows him to turn into magma, but while he is in that form he can't move. The only way to injure him is to catch him off guard. A/N, unlike in One Piece, he has to think about turning into magma. Aizawa, I hate this guy already. He looks like a cool Endeavor, Deidara said in a childish voice. Endeavor, why would I care if you think I am cool? Sensei, okay, calm down, the hideout should be around here based on the reports. After finding the hideout, the students split up into groups. Deidara and Stone Unli was a group. A/N, I'm going to be using Stone for Stone Unli, but if you want me to change it I will. Stone, this is so cool, this is the first step to becoming number 1. Okay, well we should keep an eye out for them. As soon as he said that, a lightning fist came flying at them. Thinking fast, Deidara threw a clay spider that latched on his face and blew up. Villain, not bad brat, but it looks like your quirk is nullified by mine. Damn, it looks like he can make lightning armor. Bad matchup. Looks like I will need lots of art to finish this. Stone, keep him busy, I have a plan. When Stone Only started attacking Deidara and his clay clones put his hands on the walls, floor, and roof. Stone was using a barrage of punches and kicks but couldn't do much damage at all and was running out of time he could stall for. I'm done, you need to get out of here. Stone, okay. After he left, the walls turned white. It was clay. One move, I won't hesitate to make this place into my beautiful art. Villain brat, you think you can hurt me? Your bombs do nothing, idiot. Katsu. All that was left after that was a huge explosion, then nothing. The whole area exploded. In another area of hideout. Sensei, I told him not to destroy everything, this is going to be a pain. With Deidara. Damn, that hurt my eye, I can't see shit. Then he touched his eye, or what he thought would be his eye. Oh no. His eye was gone. All Might and Aizawa. Aizawa, probably Deidara again. Damn. Toshinori yet. Villain, hey come here brats. Aizawa turns off the villain's quirk and All Might uses a very weak smash to knock his ass out. Back at UA 3 days after the villains. Hey my man, is the eye finished? My man, it's almost done, give me a minute. After he got his mechanical eye, he tried testing what it could do. A/N, it's the one he has from Naruto. After testing it, he figured out it could do this. 1. Pick up heat signatures. 2. Track people in a short distance. 3. Ruggly sense if the opponent was stronger or weaker than him. Not too shabby. Time to go to class, the sports festival should be here soon. 7. Sports festival. Before I start the chapter, I will let you know that I won't update for a couple of days because of Thanksgiving. Also, if I don't come out and say it's dropped or finished, then it will continue. I like this story and it's fun too. Right. Back to the story. Once he got back, Koro-sensei had something to say to the class. Sensei, the sports festival is here and I can't wait to see you compete and try your best. After that, the class yelled plus ultra as loud as they could except for Aizawa and Endeavor. After that, they got on a bus to head over to the location of the festival. At the arena. Student 1, wow, this place is huge. Student 2, yeah, tell me about it. Toshinori, let's go full power yet. Aizawa. Endeavor, today is the day I beat all of you and prove that I am the best. Stone, I will show everyone quirks are not the only thing that matters. My art will rule all. Cementos, I can't believe you guys forgot about me. We didn't forget, you are just useless, it's sad. Cementos, I just want someone to care about me, starts crying. Announcer, will everyone please head to the field so we can get this started? This is real time, not anime time, hurry up. After getting to the field, the announcer announced that the second rank hero will be the one observing. A/N, what Midnight did. Announcer, please welcome Sung Jinwoo. Sung Jinwoo waves. A/N, he will be called Sung. Sung Jinwoo has a very strong quirk that can summon shadows that he extracts. It's one very deadly ability. Sung, we will start the first part of the exam. It will be an obstacle course that you must make your way through to the finish line. Do you understand? Everyone, yes. Sung, let the festival begin. Once he said that, everybody ran full speed, but Deidara just stood there and used C2 Dragon. Then a giant white dragon arose and started to fly full speed. He had no problem getting past everyone, but then when he was flying, lightning struck him and he fell to the ground. Sung, good job Igris. You ruin my great art, do it once more and I will kill you where you stand. The first test continued with the final results being 1. Deidara, 2. Stone Only, 3. Toshinori, 4. Endeavor, 5. Aizawa, 6. X extras. Looks like Cementos came in near the bottom. It's a bad test for him. Now it was time for the second test. The second test was not like the original. It was where you had to fight a pro hero of Heroes Associations. Choice Thea and beat him, or the hero gives the okay to move on. Sung, you have an hour to rest and prepare. After that, Sung Jinwoo left and the students also went to get some rest. However, Deidara didn't need to, so he was preparing for his fight because he might need it. 8. Hardest challenge. After an hour of preparing, it was finally time to fight the heroes. Most of the students failed, but obviously, Aizawa and the others made it just fine. But now it was time for Deidara to fight. Announcer, will Deidara now step out into the arena? Deidara walked out onto the stage and waited for his opponent. Announcer for his opponent, we chose the one, the only, Sung Jin Woo. The arena was quite. How would you expect them to feel? They are making a first-year kid fight the second-rank pro hero. This is absurd. Deidara was also speechless. How the fuck could he win this? He stands no chance, but on the other hand, he thought that if he could win he would get revenge for his art. That is it, he has to win. Sung Jinwoo walked out and shook hands with Deidara, and then the announcer said, "Announcer, let the battle begin." At first, Sung didn't move, so Deidara took advantage. C2 hidden bombs. The bombs sunk into the ground and surrounded Sung. Sung not too bad for a kid. But the next thing he knew, Sung was right next to Deidara, so Deidara moved out the way fast and had to fight using taijutsu. In the stands. Stone, wow, that's just as good as me. Back to fight. After fighting using taijutsu, he used his touch explosion and got distance from him, then placed clay all around into a path. When Sung got into the middle, the clay started to wrap around him and eventually surround him. Deidara used clay coffin. Katsu. The clay then exploded, and when the dust cleared out came Sung Jinwoo. Completely unharmed. Sung, is that all your so-called art is? This made Deidara very angry and decided to use his absolute trump card, or at least the one where he doesn't die. Deidara uses C3 Dragon X50. 50 white clay dragons rose and surrounded Sung Jinwoo. Deidara hopped on one and went into the sky. Flashback. As they were talking about the first test, Deidara had his hand on the floor, spreading his clay all around, making everything other than the surface full of clay. This will be my trump card if I have to use it. End flashback. Deidara put his hand together and used all of his energy into one attack. This also used up the rest of his clay he has stored. Let's hope this works. I wanted to use this for the final test, but it's fine. Sung, I see, not a bad trump card. Katsu. A humongous explosion covered the area. It was a giant mushroom cloud. And there was dust everywhere and nobody could see anything, not even the robotic eye could track in this, but out came a voice. Sung, that's a powerful attack. Once the dust settled, you could see a black-haired teen with burns all over his body. He looked down and spit out blood, but the next thing you knew he was gone. As Deidara's eye was trying to track, he felt a cold bloodlust behind him as he said, Sung, I win. There was a knife pointed at Deidara's neck. Even if it wasn't, Deidara was so tired he couldn't have fought back, so he admitted defeat. You win. As Sung Jinwoo was walking away, he said, Sung, he passes, let him move on. So tell me how my first real fight was. Did you like it? 9. The definition of hard work. In an unknown location, a man was staring at his TV. They aren't quite ripe enough for my taste, he said before turning off the TV. Back to arena. After getting some much-needed rest, Deidara went to the lunchroom to get some food. As he was looking for a seat, and he saw his friends. Aizawa, oh hello, we are eating, so go. Before he could say anything else, Deidara sat down. Aizawa, okay, never mind. Toshinori, so the next test will be one-on-one tournament style. Yeah, that's what they said. Endeavor, now I can prove myself. Stone, I will win at least one match. So who is the sixth man in the tournament? Aizawa, it's some kid from 1B. He has the ability to slow things down on touch. Looks like he is out. Endeavor, yet it's not a very offense-type quirk. After their conversation, the first fight was announced. Announcer, the first match will be Stone Unli vs Endeavor. The whole arena was cheering for the match. Announcer, let the match begin. Stone Unli ran fast at Endeavor and began an all-out attack, but Endeavor didn't just stand there. Fire blast, a fireball around the size of 3 human heads was launched at Stone Unli, but he dodged it with ease. Exposed Lotus, get the joke, it made contact with Endeavor but didn't do much damage, and Endeavor threw a fire arrow at Unli. After quite a long time of battling, you could tell that Endeavor was winning, but he was getting tired, and once Stone Unli noticed this, he unleashed his secret technique, Open Cells. Once he used the move, a blue aura surged around him and he grew stronger. Endeavor was shocked. He didn't know what was going on. The thought that Stone Unli didn't have a quirk, could he have been hiding it? In the stands. Toshinori, what's happening? Deidara was also shocked. Is this the 8 gates? No, it's different. Wait. Don't tell me. He is forcibly opening a quirk. Everyone what? Everyone has a quirk, it just matters if you can awaken it, and the way you Do that is by your cells opening, but his cells did not do that, so he did it himself. Aizawa, that's amazing. No, it's very bad, his body isn't used to a quirk, so he won't be able to withstand the power and could seriously injure him. Aizawa, so what will the quirk be? No idea. Back to fight. After the winds calmed down, you could see everything clearly again in it. Looked like Stone Unli was going to make a move. When he punched the air, violent tremors went everywhere and it looked like space cracked. If you were familiar with anime in Deidara's old world, then you would have seen this before. It was Whitebeard's power. The fight continued for a while and Stone Unli started to get the edge, but his body was breaking and he couldn't keep up anymore and he collapsed. The whole arena went silent. Announcer, the winner of this battle is Endeavor. The cheers went up once more. It was such an intense battle, everyone was happy and talking about what monsters this year had, especially Deidara. He could already injure the second best hero. The future for heroes and look bright, but what they didn't know is that there was a threat far stronger than the heroes knew. 10. Full power of one for all. Before the chapter starts, I will let you know this will probably be my last chapter for a couple of days and I'm leaving soon. This chapter might be worse or shorter than usual. Once the crowd calmed down, it was time for the next match. Announcer, will Toshinori come down to the field? A/N, for the fight I will call him All Might. All Might came down and waited for his opponent. Announcer, will Deidara come down to the field? After Deidara came down, it was time for the match. Announcer, the match between Deidara and Toshinori will now begin. After he said that, the fight started. Deidara started throwing bombs at him, while All Might just stood there and brought his arm back. Right before the bombs got to him, he punched. The wind power went through the bombs and almost pushed Deidara out of the arena. Damn, that's strong. All Might, don't think I'm so easy to beat. The battle continued, but nobody was doing much damage to the other. Deidara used clay coffin, but as soon as it surrounded All Might, he punched through, but as it was falling away, Katsu, the clay blew up, and that was the first damage Deidara could do. Let's try this. Deidara used clay clone X4. The clones all started attacking using taijutsu. Stole some moves he saw in his past life, for example Lion's Barrage. Out of the corner of All Might's eye he saw Deidara coming, so he threw a smash at Deidara, but when the punch landed it went into him. You thought it was Deidara, but it was I. The clone exploded along with the other three. All Might came out of the dust and was going to use 100% smash, but Deidara saw this and got on a dragon and flew up. The dragon spit out clay spiders. There were thousands of little bombs that fell on All Might, but it seemed to do no damage. All Might, time to finish this. When he said that, All Might used 100% smash x 20 punches at 100% power easily knocked Deidara to the ground. When he landed, All Might grabbed him and threw him in the air. The All Might got into a gon stance and punched. It landed perfectly on Deidara's body. At this point in time, it looked like Deidara had no chance at winning, and he almost didn't. He couldn't use his huge moves because it would kill All Might, but he also couldn't hurt him otherwise, so he was going to use his last chance. If this didn't work, he will have to admit defeat. C3 Animal Summoning. This is a new move that Deidara made in this time that wasn't in the original. The animals started charging at All Might. There were all sorts of animals like lions, bears, and others. All Might shoot 100% smash. He sent the most powerful punch he could, but could only take out some of the animals. As the animals latched onto him, Deidara had one knee on the floor as he said, Katsu. All the animals blew up and the blast sent All Might out of the arena and also pushed Deidara back, but he used clay to keep him in the arena. A/N, kinda what Todoroki did. After a few seconds, the announcer called All Might. He went out of the arena. Deidara wins. The crowd cheered and couldn't wait for the next match. Announcer, could Aizawa and DG come down? A/N, DG is the random kid from 1B. Announcer 3,2,1 let the match begin. Next time on Drag. Aizawa, stop with the joke. Common. Author, fine, no need to be so mean. 11. DG vs Aizawa. Announcer, could Aizawa and DG come down? After the announcer said that both Aizawa and DG came down to the arena. Announcer, let the battle between Aizawa and DG begin. Once the battle started, the crowd went wild, cheering for who they wanted to win. Let's go Aizawa. No, take the win DG, the crowd yelled. Aizawa had quite a bit better odds to win, but that didn't mean anything in the sports festival. As the crowd was cheering, Aizawa went to make his move. However, he noticed something very wrong. His body was moving slower than usual. He thought about it but couldn't think of anything, until... Were we wrong about his quirk the whole time? Laughing started coming from DG from 1B. I held back my quirk for this moment to catch you off guard. DG's quirk is quite simple, his ability is to slow down time, other than thinking speed, in a limited area. But during the festival, he only activated it when he touched things so people wouldn't know his quirk. When Aizawa noticed he was slowed down, he tried to activate his quirk but he couldn't. Wait, does this mean he can slow down quirks? Aizawa was surprised, to say the least. How could someone this strong not make it to 1A? But he realized that his quirk didn't help much with robots. Stupid tests, they are not practical at all. The fight continued, but Aizawa couldn't get the edge because of his slowness, but after a while, he could tell that the effect was getting weaker. So he tried to activate his quirk again and it worked. Once Aizawa used his quirk, he could finally move full speed again. He thought it was over, but that was when the battle actually began. Although DG wasn't great at hand-to-hand combat, he could do well enough to keep up with Aizawa. A/N, Aizawa is only a first year, so he isn't as good as he was in canon. The battle was intense. DG was proving that even if he was in class 1B, he was still a hero in training and was no pushover. Aizawa continued to use a barrage of quick punches and kicks to try to get him in an optimal position to trap him with his bandages. Aizawa, damn, you're too quick. Before the battle it looked like Aizawa was going to win this easy. However, this proved that you can never underestimate your opponents. Finally, after what felt like hours, DG was starting to slow down and getting hit more frequently, and it looked like it would be over soon. Once the final punch was landed, DG was the one to drop. The crowd cheered for Aizawa, and although DG didn't win, he put on a good enough fight to probably get promoted to 1A. Announcer, Aizawa has won the fight. We will now move on to the final test. After he said that, they began to explain the final test. The final test will be a 1vs1 battle, and the last one standing will be the winner. Are the participants clear about the rules? Said the announcer. Aizawa, yes. Endeavor, yes. Yes, said Deidara. Announcer, then we will begin the final test. I tried something new with my writing. I hope you liked it more and that it was of better quality. Please leave any suggestions you have in the comments. 12. Final battle. After the rules and the details were talked out, it was time for the final battle. The announcers were hyping this match up as much as they could. And everyone was excited, but they also knew one thing: Aizawa stands no chance in this fight, and they were right, he really didn't, and the reason for that is his offensive power. He can't hurt Deidara or Endeavor, so it's really a shame. Announcer, let the three-way battle commence. After the battle began, they started charging. Aizawa already turned off their quirks, but that didn't matter because in a matter of seconds Deidara put him on his ass and threw him out of the arena. Now the real battle started. Endeavor threw a giant fireball towards Deidara and he simply dodged, then got in close. Deidara wanted to try and use his quirk less in this fight, so he knew how far he could get without it, but if push comes to shove he will do what he has to. Announcer, wow, what a brilliant fight this hand-to-hand combat is. Better than most pro heroes can do, this is amazing. The crowd was also going wild because of this fight. It was one of the best they have ever seen. Deidara and Endeavor were fighting as best they could and Deidara was getting the edge, but Endeavor decided this was enough. Flame blaze fire burst out of his body at a very fast speed heading towards Deidara, so he jumped back and used C2 normal bombs. Around 12 or so bombs flew towards Endeavor. Let's get this party started. After that, it became a showdown of quirks. Fire breath C2 mini. Dragons expanding fire bolts C3 Ome Wa Shindiaru Nani. Screamed Endeavor, but before he could react the clone blew up. After the dust settled, you could see Endeavor all beat up at breathing hard. However, Deidara seemed to be barely injured. Want to give up? Taunted Deidara. Not a chance, said Endeavor. The battle erupted again, but it still seemed to be a one-sided battle, but Endeavor was not giving up. Fire sting, a fire that turned into a sharp Needle went after him. Art of dancing clay. This was another original move of his that sent out 20 clay clones to fight to close up, and it looked like they were dancing blow after blow. It didn't look like Endeavor could win this, and after a while, it ended up that way. Of course, Endeavor would never actually give up, so the teachers had to intervene and end the battle before he died. After he won, the award ceremony began. Announcer: third place Aizawa. Sung Jinwoo came up to give the heroes in training their medals. Aizawa, you have a great quirk and natural talent. If you keep it up, I am sure you can become a great hero, said Sung Jinwoo. Announcer: second place Endeavor. Sung Jinwoo said, your quirk is extremely amazing, one of the best I've seen, but you rely on that power too much and that's not good. Announcer: and last but certainly not least Deidara. Sung Jinwoo looked him directly in the eye and said, based on just words, your quirk is nothing special, however, the way you use it is great, and also your hand-to-hand combat is great for your age. However, if you could focus your explosions on one area, then they would be a lot more effective. I suggest you work on that during your internship. Announcer: okay, well, that concludes the UA Sports Festival, plus Ultra. Hey, could you please post a review so I know how much I have to improve? Anyway, bye, and leave any suggestions in the comments. 13. After Sports Festival. In a dark room, you could see a man staring at the TV with 3 other people behind him. You ready, Wabara? Said the man while licking his lips. Yeah, I guess. Remember to only get him a little into internship. Okay, why do I have to do this anyway? The man named Wabara whispered to himself. Day after festival. On the way to UA, he got stopped and told about how awesome he was. Probably 40 times. Wow, UA is amazing, people will finally see my great art, is all Deidara could think. Once he got to UA, he talked to his friends on the way to class. After he got to class, the whole class started talking about the sports festival. That was like the coolest thing ever, said a random kid. Yeah, even though I didn't get past the first round. The class talked for about 15 to 20 minutes before Sensei showed up. Today we will be picking out hero names and choosing where to go for internships. After he said that, the students were so excited. Getting a hero name was like the coolest thing ever. Calm down, let me explain some things. First, don't use stupid stuff like King God Explosion Art, he said, looking straight at Deidara. Second, make it something that shows who you are and what you want to be. Well, that will be all for now. Get to picking hero names. The whole class started thinking of names and some went up there. Obviously, Toshinori picked All Might, Endeavor picked Endeavor, and Aizawa picked Eraserhead, and after thinking, Deidara chose Bakuhatsu as it meant explosion in Japanese. Koro-sensei loved all of them, of course, and after the students were done, he had to say something. Before we do internships, I would like to announce that we have a new student, DG Kyozo. What do you want your hero name to be? Clockwork, DG said in a monotone voice. Okay, now let's choose our internships, said Sensei. Deidara got way too many internship requests than he thought he would. He even got one from the number 1 hero. But as he was looking through, he saw one name and instantly chose it. I don't care what rank he is, this will be fun, thought Deidara. After choosing, he turned it into Koro-sensei. Later at night, when all the people were out of UA, you could see a man. He looked to be a middle-aged man who looked to be depressed. Well, that's an odd choice. Well, doesn't matter, my only job is to test him, he said as he sighed and lit his cigarette and walked away. Next day. The next day, Deidara got his hero outfit and left for his internship. He followed the map until he got to a house. He then walked up to the door and knocked. Come in, said the man. Once he got inside, he saw a man with brown skin, white and red clothes, goggles, and 7 swords. Yo how ya doin', fool ya fool? Please leave a review and share any ideas you might have. Thank you, bye. 14. Training. After settling in, he and Killer Bee were talking about their quirks. My quirk is to use octopus tentacles to attack people. I can even transform. Pretty cool, right? Yelled Bee. Yeah, that's awesome. My quirk is to eat clay with my hands and make it explode, screamed Deidara. Well, we will need to start training, so I was thinking about making your explosions less boom and more pow, you know, said B as he was writing down rap lyrics. Okay, yeah, I got this. Well, he didn't have this. He tried for 3 days. And couldn't get it down. This was something even the original Deidara couldn't do. He was trying to focus the explosion on one point so that he could do more damage to an individual person and not just an area. Yo, we need to talk. You know, said B as he was walking up. Yeah, what? Asked Deidara. Well, any villains I might find, I can't help you unless it's life or death, understand? Deidara was confused. Why? After a moment, B said, if I do it won't help you get this technique down. Deidara agreed to this, and so they went to find some villains. After searching they found a lowly villain hideout. Most of them were easy to deal with, but the boss was a little strong, so he decided to use his quirk. The boss could use dust to attack people. It was fast but very weak compared to most dust traps. Screamed the boss arrogantly. Weak, said Deidara in a cold icy voice. See, 2 weak bombs. After that the villain was almost dead, and the police came to arrest them. Wabara POV. Looks like they were not a challenge. Should I fight him now? I'm going to have to do it sometime. Whatever, let's just do it. As he got up to follow them. Third person. As Deidara and B were walking home, a man dropped in front of them. He looked up and said, boss's orders. Then he struck Deidara, sending him flying. As B just watched, fuck, yelled Deidara before he could get up. A hand made of smoke lifted in the air. A/N, quirk, cigarette. Description: the user smokes cigarettes and the smoke attacks the enemy. And the smoke can be manipulated. The smoke can also be manipulated to have certain qualities such as poison smoke, or just smoke that can hit people and throw them. Drawback: cigarette addiction, obviously, depressed constantly no matter what. As the smoke was thrashing him, he was getting his clay ready. C3 dragon, yelled Deidara. The dragons flew towards Wabara at a fast speed, but before it blew up, a smoke wall blocked it. Is that all you have, man? The boss was so excited too, said Wabara in a sad tone. Damn, this sucks. How is he so strong? Deidara was upset now. C3 snake. The snake went at him full speed and wrapped around Wabara. Katsu, he yelled, and it exploded but did no damage. Too wide, said Wabara as he yawned. This is boring, goodbye. After that Deidara was sent flying, and when he got back up Wabara was gone. Who was that guy? Both B and Deidara both wondered. Back at hideout. How was he? Questioned the boss. Very disappointing, but he has some room to get better, I guess, said Wabara is a lazy sad tone. Well, that sucks, said the boss as another person behind him laughed in a crazed way. Hey, author here, please leave suggestions in the comments and leave a review. Bye, see you later and have a good day. 15. Koro-sensei backstory. As Koro-sensei was sitting at his desk, he was thinking, with his students going on internship, he started to think about his past. The earliest thing he could remember was him inside of a giant test tube, with scientists staring at him. All he could feel was pain, but there was nothing he could do about it, until one day a man came and said he was free, but that was a lie. After he was released, they put something on his neck, and the man ordered, go destroy the city. After that his skin turned black, and eyes gleamed crimson. All he could think was to destroy the city. So that's what he did. He blew up homes and tossed them around. Countless heroes came but could do nothing and got destroyed like the rest of the city. Until the number one hero of the time came. He was a man who could use the earth around him perfectly to bind him and beat him. After that, he tried to become a hero to make up for his wrongdoings, but instead got hate with people trying to kill him everywhere he went. Finally, he was going to give up on life. Maybe it wasn't for him anyways, until there is always a place for someone. When he turned around, he saw a white rat type thing. I'm sorry, but I just don't think that's true, said Koro. Sensei, my name is Nizu. I'm the principal at UA. How about you become a teacher? I'm sure you are more than qualified, said Nizu. Tears were coming down Koro's eyes and he was crying, screaming his thanks and that he would repay him someday for saving him. After a while, he got used to the school, but the people outside were still very mad about what he had done. He tried to explain that he had kindness to give if people would give him a chance, but they never did. However, over the years people started to forgive him and accept him into the world. Now he was one of the best teachers in all of UA history, and now his name was Koro-sensei, the one and only. What did you think of his backstory? This was the first sad type of thing I did. Tell me how I did, and as always leave suggestions in the comments. 16. The Red Man. After Deidara got back to the training he tried to focus but just couldn't. I mean, who was that guy and how could he beat him so easily, and he had a boss so he wasn't the strongest. Yo, how it going with the training yo? Said B. Not well, I can't focus. B. Completely understood. Okay, how about we go into a stronger part of the city, see if you can't get in a good fight. Dash All Might. All Might and Gran Torino were sparing jet kick. Gran Torino was bouncing off of walls and kicking All Might, until boom! A big explosion happened in the middle of the street. When All Might went outside to see what happened, he saw a man. He had red skin, dark and crazy eyes, and looked like the devil himself. Hey, kid, I heard you had a pretty strong quirk. All Might be about to respond until he got struck in the face and crashed into a building. A/N, quirk, hatred. The more the user hates or dislikes anything around them, the stronger he gets. However, there's a limit to how mad they can get. If the limit is passed, they lose control, and after they are extremely exhausted. I tried to put in sensible drawbacks to the quirk. My quirk gets stronger the more I hate something, and do you know what I hate the most? Heroes, said the red man. As All Might got up, the redman was right next to him again and punched him and sent him flying again, but this time All Might landed on his feet and used 100% smash the air pressure and fist launched at the red man. As soon as it hit him, he frowned. Is that your full power? Is asked in a joking tone. Damn, what is this man made of? All Might thought. He continued to use his full power, but it wasn't hurting the red man at all. The redman started laughing. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. After he said that, he started punching All Might around like a rag doll, but after a while, he calmed down, and because his quirk was getting weaker, he just stopped and left. His assignment was also a letdown. Man, this sucks, he said as he walked away. Dash back at hideout. The door got slammed on the ground and a redman walked in. What the hell, mine was supposed to have a strong physical quirk, you liar, he yelled. Calm down, Urasari, I am sure he will get stronger next time, I promise, said the boss with an odd smile on his face. Fine, Urasari said, and the boss walked away. I wonder who would win in a fight if you were mad, I mean, said Wabara. I could never hate the boss, and if I did he would still probably win. Urasari said in a pissed tone as he was still mad over his target's weakness. Never, what if he was a hero, said Wabara. After he said that, a huge fist came at his face, but before it could make contact, multiple smoke walls came up and blocked it. A shockwave went out. Never say that to me again, understand? Yeah, whatever, said Wabara as he walked away. The shockwave emitted from that punch made the electricity in the whole city go off. What do you guys think of the villains so far? Still, Haven decided on the quirk for the third member, but I might have an idea. 17. Final exams. It's been 2 weeks since the fight and the internships are finally over. Deidara could now compact his moves up to C2 and could sometimes compact C3. He knew that once he got back that it would soon be finals, but he didn't know what the finals would be, so he had to prepare /. Once he got back to UA, All Might brought up how a giant red man with an amazing quirk attacked him, so I told him about the smoke guy who attacked me, and we started thinking and thought that they were probably related to each other somehow, but he couldn't do anything, so he decided to stop thinking about it. Hello class, I would like to start by saying that your finals will be coming up shortly. The first part will be a written exam that will be 30% of your score, then we will have a fighting exam which is 70% of your grade, said Sensei. After that, 3 days passed with non-stop training. It went by extremely fast. Now today was the day of the exam. Once the written part started, he did his best because he knew it would be hard, and it was. In the end, he ended up with a 75, which he thought wasn't too bad. Next, the real problem begins. I will be destroying this fake city and you heroes will have to stop me. You will be spread out and try to find me, said the yellow octopus man. Once they got into position, the finals began. Deidara and All Might are next to each other, so they meet up to go and find Sensei, but on the way there, they see a person who didn't look like a student, so they stopped. The person was wearing a tuxedo and had silver hair and calm brown eyes. The man turned and looked at them. Hala th wouldst thou like to square, t wouldst beest mine own hon r. A/n, he is a man who talks like Shakespeare. It quite, if you want me to change it to normal text I will. I just thought this would be unique. What? Said Deidara in all might. The next thing that happened, the man looked like he was having a seizure. And when he looked back at them he looked like a madman. A/N, possession. This quirk allows two ghosts or spirits to enter your body. And you gain their abilities, but also feel their pain. These art mine own strongest spirits, said the man. Mine own nameth is Agai Norita. After those words the battle began. All Might punched him with all his power. When it hit Agai, he blew into many pieces, laying on the floor. That was easy, they both said. But something strange happened. He started to piece by together. Mine own owneth quirks in this FRM art hip are rigan ration and perfect stub. Agai said. Next thing All Might knew he was laying on the floor with a hole in his arm. I am just re to bid thee yond our boss shall leaf make his moveth he said, then vanished. A/N, I am just here to tell you that our boss will soon make his move. After he left All Might insist that we only tell the teachers after finals, so that was what we were going to do. After searching we finally found Sensei. Right now he was thrashing some extras. However, the class came up with a plan before this started. The extras were going to distract, then we would do our thing. First Aizawa would deactivate one of Sensei's many quirks, then DG would slow down time while Endeavor, Deidara Unli, and All Might attacked. I must say it worked very well. Aizawa and DG did their job, so now we had to do ours. Stone Unli went in and started a barrage of kicks that Sensei just dodged. When Endeavor used Heat Blast, a huge blast of fire went straight at Koro Sensei and it hit him, but looked like it did very little damage. Then All Might used a 100% smash on Sensei, which knocked him back. That's when it was Deidara's turn. He used a combo of compact C2 birds and C3 dragons which surrounded Sensei, which blew him out of the city, which was a way to get him to stop from destroying it. Good job, some of you pass. He then listed some nobody that nobody cared about and told them that they failed and they would have to redo the year. A/N, yes, it's different from canon. Once that was over he told them all to get some rest and that they would be training for the next week non-stop. Well, that's the chapter. Have a nice day. 18, not a chapter. So, I might not update for a minute because I have another fanfic idea I want to kinda get started, but this isn't dropped or anything. I just might not update for a while, but it for sure. 19, first chapter posted. The first chapter of my other fanfic, Killer Bee's Powers in One Piece, is now up. Please go check it out. I think the first chapter is way better than this one. LOL. 20, planning the attack. After a good night's rest, Deidara woke up and headed to school. Once he got the Koro Sensei told them about the training they would be doing. Each of you will train to make your quirks more effective in any way possible. After saying that, some other teachers and classes walked in. After that all the classes walked outside and got on the bus. A while later they got to a strange facility and began training. Somewhere else. In a building, the top heroes were there. The power that took out the city's electricity came from this location, he said as he pointed to a place on the map. Probably villains, considering we haven't had a power outage in over a decade. What should we do? Asked Nagakai, the number 6 ranked hero. We crush them with absolute justice. What else? Said Sakazuki. If we don't think about this rationally we will make careless mistakes. Said Jinwoo, we should send out a group to monitor and find out the abilities of the villains, they could be dangerous. Agreed, they all said in unison. After that, they left and sent a message to the infiltration squad to move out. At villains' hideout. Boss, there are some people outside, want me to deal with them? Asked Urasari. No, they seem to be trying to get information about us, let's give it to them, the boss said with an amused smile on his face. Boss, with all due respect, that's a stupid decision, said Wabera, smoking in the corner of the room. Shut up, I'm the one who says what is smart and what's stupid, understand? The boss said in a low tone. Yes, I was just giving my opinion, he said as he walked outside, letting out a puff of smoke. A few days later. From what we saw, there are 3 people. Has the ability to have his body possessed by some sort of being, but we didn't know what. The red one has some sort of strength quirk that seems to be quite strong. He is able to control smoke, we don't know the limitations of it. And finally the boss, we don't know his ability, the most we saw him do was what looked like put an invisible band on something and pull it towards him. However, you can't be a boss of a supervillain group with something that weak, the member said. Quite tough opponents, said all 10 of them. That's right, all of the top 10 heroes were there. The member spoke again. We should have these matchups. Sung Jinwoo vs the Spirit Guy. Umimi Deidara vs the Red Type Guy. Zaytaka Shijiro vs the Smoke User. And finally Sakazuki vs their leader. Quirks. Umimi Deidara. Quirk name, Undying Charge. Ability, the user can push their body beyond human limits. An example is, let's say you're running and you're out of energy. With this quirk, you could keep running for as long as you want without your body stopping you. Ultimate ability, the user pushes their body to the limit of the quirk, making them feel no pain for a short time, but pass out after about a minute and a half of using this. Deactivating this before that time limit will end in varying levels of tiredness. Pros, you can keep fighting long after your enemy, letting you stall them into submission. Cons, overuse of this will start to mess with your health, weakening muscles, eating off loads of fat. After you run out of fat it starts eating your muscles, and if used enough it can start destroying organs. Zaytaka Shijiro. Quirk, Illusion. This quirk allows you to put people under powerful illusions, however, you can't move while the illusion is cast. Ultimate ability, you can cast a huge illusion over a wide area, but after the time runs out you won't be able to move for 24 hours. Okay, it's confirmed we will attack tomorrow, said Sakazuki. Sorry this chapter is late, I had no ideas, but as I was writing it kinda just came to me and I don't think it turned out too bad. The villain arc will be fun. 21. It's begun. This was the day after the meeting, and the 4 heroes were heading towards the hideout. We will have to spread them out and fight them one-on-one because as a team they are probably much better than us, Sung Jinwoo said. I agree, once we spread them out we can unleash our full power, and once we do that we cannot be beaten, said Umimi, who was extremely excited to find a person who can match his physical strength. They continued talking and coming up with plans until they got to their destination. Looks like we're here, said Zaytaka, as they got out of the helicopter and landed on the ground. Finally here, said the boss of the group. So, you're my opponent, you don't look so tough, Sakazuki said, trying to size up his opponent. Suddenly he felt an invisible string pull him and fling him across the area as the boss went after him. Once Sakazuki landed he got up and asked, "What's your name, villain?" The boss stared at him and said, "My name is Hisoka, nice to meet you." Umimi vs Urasari. After they separated, Urasari recognized Umimi and charged at him. After that all the heroes and villains separated. Hehe, finally I can meet somebody with my level of strength. What's your name? Umimi said, "The name is Urasari, close to yours, but let's just get this battle started." After those words were spoken, Urasari punched Umimi. But he punched back, not bad at all. Zaytaka vs Wabara. Let's just get this over with, Wabara said in a depressed voice. Couldn't agree more. Smoke charged at Zaytaka, but once it hit her something strange happened. It went through her. "Oh, I see, your ability must be to turn into something that can phase," said Wabara, not knowing her abilities. Because she almost never shows them. He was about to attack again, but he was suddenly in a volcano. He panicked for a second before he realized there was no heat. "Ah, your quirk must be illusions, am I correct?" "Well, it doesn't matter." The next thing he did was punch himself with his smoke so that his senses could return. The smoke charged at Zaytaka once more. "Let us see how you are without you illusions," but when it hit her she burst into flames. Next the girl was in front of him and said, "As long as I can see you I'm never without my illusions." Sung Jinwoo vs Agai. "I hasn't thousands of quirks, thee cannot did beat me," said Agai, staring at Jin. "Is that so? Well, your natural weakness is numbers and long battles, because the longer the battle the more the ghost takes over until you die," Jin said. In a confident tone, Agai responded with, "Thou seemeth thee know it a lot about me, but I hasn't too many quirks for thee to beat me." After their introductions, the battle erupted. The battles will start next chapter. 22. Strongest. Sakazuki was looking at Hisoka ready for an attack at any moment. The next thing he knew, it felt like he was pulled by something and he flew into a wall, but before he hit it he turned into magma. He didn't sense or see the attack coming. It was like it happened out of thin air. Hisoka stared at him. Common, you can't move in magma form. If you want to fight back you will have to be able to move. He was taunting Sakazuki. Your quirk is weak but it's quite effective against me, said Sakazuki. Hisoka looked at him and started laughing. You fool, I knew my quirk was effective against you, that's why they called me boss. I'm not actually the boss, but everyone knows the number one hero has to fight the boss, so all we did was choose the most effective fights. Sakazuki was instantly mad about this. How dare some measly villains outsmart me? He then threw a magma ball at Hisoka, but he used an invisible wall to block it. It kinda looked like it hit rubber or maybe even gum. Bungee gum has both properties of rubber and gum, he said in an odd tone. A/N, quirk bungee gum. This quirk has both the properties of rubber and gum. It can only be seen by concentrating really hard at the spot where the bungee gum is. Damn it, Sakazuki felt very frustrated. He didn't know the enemy ability and he got outsmarted. He was the number one hero, he should be better than this. Zaytaka vs Wabara. The smoke was surrounding the area trying to keep him out of sight. He thought he was, but then he could instantly tell he was in an illusion and hit himself with his smoke again. The way he could tell that he was in an illusion is because it felt like his five senses shut off. And the only way he knew he could get out was by hurting himself. But then he realized that when he was in the illusions he was never attacked. So that must mean you can't move once you use the illusion, right? Zaytaka was surprised. She didn't expect him to find out so soon. Wabara thought if he just didn't get out of the illusions he would never be hurt, but that was incorrect. Zaytaka had set traps and right now, he was in the middle of one. The ropes all around him were cut, but of course, Wabara didn't know that. However, once he moved the illusion was undone, and before the spike trap could close on him his wall of smoke protected him. He puffed out some smoke and said, looks like it's time to get serious. The smoke then rushed at Zaytaka, picked her up and tossed her like a ragdoll. Zaytaka had great senses but could even see, much less react to the attack. Once she hit the tree and coughed up blood, she looked up at Wabara. You're the strongest one, aren't you? Yes, was his only response before smashing her head in with blood splattered everywhere. Man, this gonna be a pain to clean up, he said as he sighed and took a seat. Guess I can only wait, he said while lighting another cigarette because the other one was blood-stained. Sorry I haven't uploaded, I had a lot of school to do. 23. Sorry. Sorry, I have been doing things with Christmas and school stuff. I will try to update this tomorrow but not 100% sure.